training tools and things this afternoon. We're going to focus on a variety of things, but we grouped a number together to look at ergonomics anyway. So Norbert will speak again. This time looking at 3D modelling of bike careers. Excellent.
Okay, hello. My name is Norbert Lechner. I'm working as a sports scientist and ergonomist in the prevention department of the Austrian Workers' Compensation Board. Recent reports indicate that the physical strain experienced by bicycle delivery workers, we call them as riders, is excessively high. And to evaluate the physical strain of the riders, we initiate a research project with the University of Germany, Münster in Germany, and the company Redimo. Bicycle delivery services are part of cityscapes since the 80s. They have their own style with fixed gears, bags, and mainly transported small items or documents. And with the pandemic, we recognized an increasing amount of the riders, which now mainly deliver food. But with the high amount of riders, also the accidents increase. So in Austria, we recorded 409 commuting accidents of bicycle riders in 2018, which increased by a factor of 4 from 2019 to 2020, and we had a doubling from 2020 to 21. Risks to think about, besides the traffic, time pressure, riders often have no sufficient training, and what we investigated here, the physical load of carrying the bag with a weight of up to 19 kilogram, which can additionally be, the weight can distribute it differently. Biomechanics of cycling as a mass sport, as well as professional discipline, has been subject to research for many years. So numerous studies were conducted to assess kinematics and kinetics of cycling using conventional methods such as 2D and 3D video analysis, electromyography, EMG, and power meters or instrumental prosthesis. These approaches can lead to good outcome in terms of estimation of muscle forces and joint loads, but mostly under quite high expenses in preparation with limited output. One of the newest approaches is the computed myography. The company Redimo, developed from the University of Münster in Germany, works with computed myography, as they call it. So acceleration measurement, you see X-sense, motion capture sensors on the one hand, and musculoskeletal simulation of more than 680 muscles on the other provide information about forces. So the computer model contains current reference values from the literature for each movement segment, which also includes weight, height, and gender. So which forces the muscle generate, which forces are on the joints, and so on. With all of these considerations in mind, we came up with the following research questions in order to analyze the physical loads for bike delivery riders. So first, what are the loads acting on the rider's joints during cycling? To be more precise, we specified the second and third question, how the different positions and different external loads in the backpack affect the rider's joint loads. And finally, how large are the forces compared to standing, walking and squat lifting. We had 20 male subjects, mostly students, which had honestly no experience in bike delivery. We compared 2 cycling positions and had 3 reference tasks. As I said, standing, walking, and squat lifting. And we had 4 weight conditions, so 0, 5, 10, and 15 kilograms. Here you see the 2 positions on the bike, so bent forward and the upright position. Please look at the position of the hands in the right picture, because unfortunately it's not a really good picture. The data acquisition, for that we have a stationary bike which was used. It was fitted to match the positions for each subject. it was used X-sense, so the IMU system with 17 IMUs placed on the body segments and one in the backpack. And external forces were measured, so handlebar forces, pedal forces, bike seat forces, and the backpack was modeled. For body kinematics and ground reaction forces were processed using the musculoskeletal model Myonardo, containing 28 rigid body segments and nearly 700 muscle tendon units. So for each subject, the model was scaled relative to the subject's body mass and height. Net joint torques were computed based on the measured segment kinematics and the measured external forces. An optimization procedure was used to obtain muscle activation levels that produce the desired net joint torques. The data statistics, so for each joint, total joint force was computed as the vector norm of the 3D force vector and normalized for body weight in Newton. We then computed the 50th percentile, so the median, and the 95th percentile, the peak force of this time series for over 20 to 30 seconds of stable cycling, over 5 to 10 seconds of stable walking and standing, and over 3 repetitions of squat lifting. The following slides will focus on the median force for 50 of selected joints, comparing the forces between the different tasks and positions for each weight condition. The results are displayed as so-called violin plots with the following characteristics. So the x-axis shows the different tasks and biking positions, respectively. Each task position is represented by a colored violin box showing the median value, the interquartiles ranges, and the distribution of all values. Each color of the violin represents one task or position on the bike. For example, the orange plot always represents walking, the green plot always represents cycling bent forward. The y-axis shows the load in times body weight. The horizontal bars and asterisks indicate statistical significance between the different positions and tasks. And for each weight condition, the violins were sorted in ascending order from left to right. And together with the color coding, this can clearly reveal difference in the order of loads between the tasks. For example, cycling in a forward position always leads to the highest median force in the neck. This is visible in all weight conditions. For the shoulder joint, it was found that the 2 biking positions show clearly higher loads when the subjects were acting out the tasks without additional weight from the backpack. Even with additional weight, the forces during walking and standing stay low, whereas the joint forces increase in the lifting task until the force in the shoulders were similar between lifting and cycling upright. So for all 4 weight conditions, the highest median force was found in the bent forward biking position. When it comes to physical stress during manual lifting and transportation tasks, the joint between L5 and S1 is often considered as an affected area of the body. Interestingly, for this joint, the highest median forces for the no weight condition were found during the lifting task, followed by cycling in a forward position. For 5 and 10 kilogram extra weight condition, lifting and cycling in forward position show similar median forces, whereas the order of ascending values indicates a switch. This switch is then clearly seen in the 15 kilogram condition, where cycling in a forward position lead to the highest median forces with up to about 5 times body weight. What has been indicated in the previous slide can even more clearly be seen in this picture. Be aware that this exemplary plot follows a different color scheme than the others, but what it shows in more detail is the effect of external weight for the different tasks and positions on the bike. Additional weight lead to a significant increase of the median force at L5S1 in all 5 tasks. Looking at the lower extremities, in this case hip and knee joint, the following finding was to point out. as in the hip joint, the two biking positions lead to lower median forces than the reference tasks. This can be seen in all weight conditions. For higher weight conditions, standing even becomes the task that will wield the highest forces in the joint. In the knee joint, the highest forces were found during the lifting task for all weight conditions, and I think this was quite expected. For both joints, adding additional weight to the back of the subject does not seem to have such a high effect on the forces as it could be seen, for example, in L5S1 before. In general, biking in the forward bend position leads to higher median forces compared to biking in upright position. Biking in a forward bend position leads to the highest forces in the upper body compared to all other tasks. Only lifting under no and low weight condition led to lower forces at L5S1. The highest median forces were found during cycling in forward bend position with up to 6 times body weight, and the joints in the lower extremities seem to be less affected by additional weight, and they show higher forces for the reference tasks than for cycling. The results indicate a recommendation towards cycling in upright position compared to forward bend positions. Additional weight can lead to high loads, especially in the lower back region. The limitations of the study, the forces were only analyzed during steady state cycling. Subtasks like getting on or off the bike were not evaluated yet, and the wattage of cycling was not recorded or fixed, and subjects could choose their own preferred speed. So the next steps are the analysis and interpretation of remaining joints like the ankle, the elbow, shear forces and peak forces, and the forces during subtasks. And which is very important for us is the comparison between the computed myography and other conventional biomechanical assessments. I'm at the end, and thank you very much for your attention.